All right, so Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs have fallen to 0-2, and I gotta be honest with you, the alarms are sounding, the red flags of this team are there, and they're very, very worrisome. The offense, I mean, it took forever to get going in this game for the Chiefs. It felt like they were stalling out a lot. Mahomes was missing throws. And it really feels like Mahomes has regressed a little bit because he did not play very good in this game. Now, his interception wasn't his fault. He threw a perfect throw over the middle to Kelce, who he's washed, so he dropped it. Even though Kelce had a decent game, he had like 70 yards. He's probably one of the main reasons why they lost this game, because if he just were to hold on to that ball, they would have had a touchdown. But instead, guess what? It's a turnover, it's an interception. It makes Mahomes' stats look worse. I do think Mahomes played a bad game. This is not a good game from Mahomes. Defensively, I thought they played a lot better, although I think the play calling for the Eagles was just completely inept. But Patrick Mahomes, to me, this season is not going, it's going to be another game manager year for Mahomes. He's not going to put up the stellar passing numbers. I had questions about their defense. Now, to me, those are sort of erased at this point because I thought they played well against one of the better offenses in the league. And obviously, despite the bad play calling for the Eagles on offense, they did very well to stop Jalen Hurts in the passing game, which is something they struggled with in the first week of the season when they took on the Chargers. Herbert threw like 300 yards, like 3 touchdowns on him, played really, really well, and just made them look very, very bad. And I think they rebounded very well. Now, obviously, the Eagles didn't really throw it much. They only threw it like 25 times, but still, they weren't really allowing anything really too deep down the field other than one, deep shot in the red zone the entire fucking game. So they did play better than they played last week against the Chargers. But there's so many warning signs with this team, and I hope at the end of the day, I don't want to see the Chiefs in another Super Bowl. I'll be honest, that'll just be boring. It'll just get boring at this point. I want to see new teams in the Super Bowl. I guess you could say I'm rooting against the Chiefs, but I guess I have a reason to, because I always like seeing new young teams, sort of on the come up, make the Super Bowl. With exciting players, with marketable, exciting players, right? That's all I'm asking for. And obviously, Mahomes is a marketable, exciting player, but he kind of used to be a marketable, exciting player. He no longer is one because he's relegated to this sort of dink and dunk fucking check down artist. And honestly, if I had to, look, Caleb Williams didn't play good today, right? Caleb Williams played pretty poorly. Caleb Williams played infinitely better than Mahomes in this game because Caleb Williams at least was hitting some nice looking throws from time to time. I mean, Mahomes, he hit one deep ball, but at that point, it was way too late. They scored, they had to do an onside because they had no timeouts, and the game was basically decided by that point. So that touchdown, to me, don't even count. His deep accuracy is shocking. It's absolutely just atrocious. I don't know, he threw like 10 deep passes this game, and he had like maybe one that was accurate, and it was a touchdown. So his sort of deep accuracy is regressing. His intermediate accuracy is regressing. He's still accurate to the short portion of the field, but I feel like there are guys. I know the weapons aren't the greatest, and the run game isn't the greatest in the world, but I feel like there are guys open, right? It's an Andy Reid offense. There's no way there isn't players that are open. It's either maybe he's not seeing them, or I don't know. Maybe his sort of mental clock is being sped up. I don't know, but this isn't the Mahomes that we know. He's just playing a very conservative role in this offense, and that's not what you like to see if you're a Chiefs fan, because eventually teams are going to play underneath and they're going to challenge Mahomes to beat him deep. And the Eagles left a dude. I remember it was like on the same drive that Mahomes threw that deep touchdown pass. Right, he had earlier in the drive, he missed a wide open motherfucker that would have easily been a touchdown. He's open by 35, maybe 40 yards. All he had to do was just float it out there. It could have been way behind him. He would have made the play and it would have been a touchdown. Nobody would have caught up to him. And he missed him by like 10 yards. He missed him horrendously. And they ended up scoring later in the drive, but they scored like 1 or 2 minutes too late. So at that point, the deep ball touchdown doesn't even really matter. It's a garbage time touchdown because you missed the same exact key throw earlier in the drive, and you wasted too much time to get near midfield when you were in your own territory. You had the shot deep down the field. All you had to do was hit it in stride or even throw it behind him for the easy pitch and catch on the touchdown, and you would have been right back in the ball game. No need to try an onside kick because you have, like 3-4 minutes left in the game. But now that you wasted the extra minute and a half or 2 minutes, you have to go for the onside because of your lack of timeouts in the game, and puts you in a very untenable situation as a coach. You have to onside it because you literally can't kick it off to the other team because all they have to do is run 4 plays and they're going to win the game. So it really is that simple for the other team. And Mahomes, I wouldn't say he looks rattled because he really doesn't look rattled, but when he missed that deep throw to me, his expression was like, fuck, man, I'm horrible this game. I'm not playing well this game. That's how I sort of read his expression. And he has that sort of face from time to time where, man, I want that one back. He has that face from time to time, but that one really sort of spoke to me that, okay, yeah, this, maybe he knows something's wrong, something's a bit broken. This deep ball is just awful right now. He cannot throw the ball deep. And what are teams going to do? They're going to play underneath coverage. They're going to force the Chiefs to throw the football into the deep portion of the field. Because Mahomes can't hit water if he fell out of a damn boat in the deep part of the field. So why would you play there unless he, is able to consistently beat you for big yardage plays in the passing game? That's how teams are probably going to play him. We have 2 weeks of film now, and he's just not consistently hitting these throws like Mahomes usually would. The Mahomes from 3-4 years ago would easily hit these throws at like a 50% clip, something ridiculous like that. But now he's hitting him at maybe 15. Anywhere from 10 to 15% is the clip and the rate he's hitting these passes at. These are passes Mahomes excels at, but Mahomes is no longer excelling at them. I don't even know. I can't even tell you if it's a mechanical thing or if it's a confidence thing or if it's a scheme thing or if it's, a mental thing. I really can't. It's probably, he maybe is a bit amped up when he sees a guy open, but he's a veteran in the league. He's been in the league for almost a decade now. He should know way better than to get fucking really hyped up when you see someone wide open. You got to stay calm. You got to stay collected. You got to treat it like a routine throw. And he's treating it like, oh my God, if I hit this fucking touchdown, I just won the Super Bowl. No, it's not like that. And he always fucking just throws it way too far. And it's always an erratically located incomplete throw. So I have a lot of concerns about this KC offense. I haven't really checked the rushing stats, but from watching the game, to me, the rushing game doesn't inspire much confidence for Kansas City because good teams, which obviously the KC is going to face good teams this year, good teams are going to be able to sort of fend them off when it comes to the running game. So that tells me something that, okay, maybe things schematically need a bit of a tweak, need a bit of a fix, and maybe Mahomes needs to get his confidence back up. And I wouldn't even recommend it. Even then, if you try the deep ball and the other team's giving you the deep ball, but you're not hitting it, it's sort of a detriment to the team because you're wasting these plays that should be big yardage on incompletions when you could just be checking down every fucking play, right? The run game, I guess, wasn't awful. They get 100 something yards, but to me, it didn't even matter because Mahomes couldn't do anything. And when the run game needed to be there, once again, it was okay. Mahomes was most of the run game, to be honest with you. But to me, it didn't inspire confidence because you got 17 points, all right? And you didn't even really get 17. You got a garbage 7 points at the end of the game when it was fucking a minute too late. So it didn't even really matter. And the Eagles easily recovered the onside. And yeah, man, I have a lot of questions about this team. Travis Kelce obviously forcing that, sort of making that interception happen. He had some moments in this game where he looked good. He didn't look super duper washed, but he was catching the ball. He was running after the catch. He still looks slow as fuck. I don't know how Cooper DeJean couldn't stay on him. That puzzles me. He got beat by a stutter route over the middle. That's just fucking crazy. But other than maybe 2 decent catches, he really he wasn't impacting the game. He was like their best receiver. But that's not saying much because he is the reason why, probably the main reason they lost the game is because he dropped the ball. Or he fucking fumbled whatever the fuck it's called. He dropped the ball and it fucking popped up in the air and it was intercepted. It was an easy throw over the middle. Mahomes made it. It was a fucking touchdown all day, all night fucking long. And he dropped it right into the hands of a defender for the easiest fucking pick that dude's ever going to get in his career. It's literally fluttered in his fucking hands. It's crazy. Mahomes has a lot of problems he needs to sort of address. I know there's a bit of pressure on him. The offensive line is sort of, it's not great. But man, this is, once again, sound the alarm. I think they're 0-2. You go on the road. I think they go on the road. I don't know. I think they go on the road. They go on the road to take on the Giants, and the Giants just had an amazing offensive game. They're going to be a bit discouraged, but they're going to be playing with a lot more confidence. I think that's going to end up being a trap game for them. If they take the Giants like a serious threat to them, they will probably easily beat them by 20-plus points. If they just go in like, okay, it's the Giants. They suck. They haven't won a game. They're going to lose the game. They're going to face a hard dose of reality. But I think they'll bounce back and get a close win against the Giants. But then it starts to ramp up. They start to play harder teams like the Ravens, like the Lions, like the Commanders. and the Bills, and that this is a really tough schedule. This schedule is one of the harder ones in the league, at least that I've sort of glanced over from looking at it right now. And that's a concern because, you know, the Eagles obviously are one of the best teams in the league, but even then your offense wasn't really great against the Chargers and your defense wasn't great, but your defense was good against the Eagles, but the Eagles have some clear schematical and play calling problems, so that's not really, you know, a sustainable way to, I guess, review how your defense is doing if you can play decently, moderately well against a team with a busted scheme that, you know, is incapable of doing basic things, including play calling. I don't really think I'd count that for much, right? So a lot of problems on the horizon for the Chiefs. They're 0-2. This is not good. I'm not saying they're going to miss the playoffs. They'll probably win 11, 12 games. But this is not the start you'd imagine the Chiefs get off to. They have not won a game yet, and their offense has just not looked great in both of the games. The defense, you know, in important moments, they just don't seem to make a play or force a turnover or force any sort of mistake whatsoever. There's some trouble. There's some things that need to be addressed going in this game against the Giants. I think they'll win again. It's on primetime, and once again, I believe they'll win, but I don't know by how much. And once again, if they get overconfident in themselves and their abilities, I think they'll fall into the trap and they'll lose the game against the Giants, and then they'll really be completely fucked at that point because they'd be 0-3 going in the Ravens game. That would be almost certainly 0-4, and it would just, the season would be over by then. 0-4. I don't know how they would scrape themselves out of the hole, man. Thank you all for watching. This has been Mr. Truth, and this was nothing but the truth.